And now for something completely different.
Forget everything you've been told by others before. Get ready for the real deal, the full story, real talk about money, markets, life. Now, it's The Real Investment Show, presented by RIA Advisors.
And welcome to Financial Fitness Holiday Edition with, again, Miss Sarah Buenger, the instructor of the year at Texas A&M.
Was there an award that I got?
Yeah, I just gave it to you.
Okay. I appreciate that. We love you, Mrs. B.
Well, listen, we're going to talk about something sort of important, I think anyway, because it means money. And we're talking about the Trump accounts as part of the working families tax cuts. And who's eligible for them. We want to give you an overview of them, then some more, a little bit more specific stuff, and then I want to share with you some of the cons of it. I know what? My kid getting money is like, there's a con? Yeah, sort of. But you can work through it. And we'll talk about it. So let's go through this a little bit about it. And then obviously on December 2nd, there was a little bit more guidance because I'm still unclear as to who's going to be managing the money, Sarah. It's going to have to be pretty much broad-based, indexed approach kind of thing, S&P 500, low-cost kind of thing. But, my thought is, I think what I envision is that you will be able to open them at Fidelity and Vanguard. I think ultimately that, or they'll open them in one place first, and then you'll be able to transfer those into other brokerage firms once they get their stuff in order to do so. So I think, there'll be a centralized approach and then it'll be spread out. But the mandate of, those brokerage firms are going to give you a really strict mandate. You're not going to be able to go in there and trade NVIDIA stock. Sorry. But let's start with the overview framework there, Sarah. What you got?
Yeah, along the same lines as what you're talking about, it does seem like there's some direction to make sure those accounts are diversified. At least within the United States, they want them to follow the S&P 500 index with the investments or some other United States index. So from that standpoint, at least there'll be some diversification. There's no fixed income in there, no money market as I understand it.
Right.
Aside from that, essentially what we're looking at is an account that can be opened by any child under the age of 18. But the kids that are born between a certain time period, so January of 25 all the way through December of 2028,
I can still apply.
will also get a government bump in the beginning balance of $1,000. I don't really think it's fair that they pick those time periods, but it is what it is. As a mother of 3 children, I don't think that's fair. But
only one of Amy's children is going to just barely skirted by in that process.
Yeah.
But to your point, yeah.
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Operationally, we have that account similar to some other kinds of accounts. There are certain characteristics similar to the UGMA, UTMA, some characteristics similar to Roth. So we'll kind of go highlight those. As far as UGMA, UTMA, the Trump account is similar to that because the parent still owns the account or manages the account until the child turns 18. We know that about it. Similar to Roth, the assets inside there grow tax. They're calling it tax-free. Really, it's tax-deferred because it'll grow tax-free while it's in there. Mm-hmm. But then it functions like an IRA. You have to take it out. So let's call a spade a spade. It's actually tax-deferred.
It works like an IRA.
It does. It goes to IRA rules as soon as the child turns 18. Differences in the Trump account compared to some of the other kinds of accounts, you have to set it up using a specific IRS tax form. That form is 4547.
4547, right? So you're going to use that to establish the Trump account for each child.
And
I don't know who's going to handle that back end.
It sounds like the government's handling it. I'm not
but
sure
I mean,
who
managing
fills
the
in.
money, like who's going to do it? It's going to be BlackRock or whatever, because it's just an index fund.
Yeah.
I would think you could just bring Vanguard in to do it, but eventually you might be able to transfer them out into
But to your point, that's how you open the account, and you also take that seed money from the government. So the seed money, again, is only available for those born within that time frame, but anyone under 18 can still open the account. You just don't get the seed money from the government.
Yeah, and you won't get the Dell family
Exactly.
seed money either.
Exactly.
So you've got to what, 28, you said? To have a kid
Yep.
that would qualify.
I'm not going for it.
I was just going to you got time.
I'm not. Nope. No, thank you.
I don't think that's the one thing. I don't think it's going to shift our terrible demographics. That's one of the things. And I don't think it was designed to do that. I think it was designed to help, I don't think giving, and I know countries have tried like actually giving money to turn around demographics, and it has not worked that way. It's got to have to be a lot. Like, give me $1 million. I'm sorry, Amy, I'm having a kid. We'll get together after I'm done. So
I did see some projections, though, that they had put out that the accounts, if you're contributing the max each year, it could grow to as much as $300,000 by the time they reach age 18. But there was some heavy assumptions in those calculations.
That's the other thing I don't like is you're making the assumption, which is what the White House is doing, that you're going to earn 10% a year, compounded. No ifs, ands, or buts. Wrong. Well, listen, whatever it is. But yes, the assumptions are
pretty
more than rosy. Yes, that's one of my beefs. Go ahead.
Other things as far as operational standpoint for these accounts, once you file that form, you get your account open, you're supposed to expect some further instructions from the Treasury Department. So it sounds like they almost don't have everything sorted out right now.
Right.
They're going to tell you after the fact because it gives them time to figure it out.
Right.
So in May of 26, you should get some further instructions about how to activate the accounts. And then you could actually start setting those accounts up in early 2026. So that's one of our items to tackle in the first quarter, is to see who qualifies amongst our client base and see if it would be beneficial or not compared to, or in reference to what you share after a while.
The seed money that maybe you're not going to get, but like you said, I could still open the Trump account.
Right.
Now I can fund that, I guess, to what, $5,000 a year?
Yep. Contribution limits $5,000 per year.
Employers can contribute some of that. If
$2,500. Now, key points about the $2,500 is it comes out of the limit. So if your employer's doing $2,500, you have $2,500 left to put in.
you can't do $5,000 plus $2,500.
Correct.
Yes.
That $2,500 that is offered, if it's offered by your employer, is not considered income to you. So that's a positive little employee benefit.
Yeah.
If you decide to. And oddly enough, and this I think is part of the draw that they're trying to sell the accounts based on, cities, states, tribal governments, and nonprofits can contribute, and their contribution is not considered part of the $5,000 at all. So this goes to your point earlier.
This is something I've learned that I was surprised. But yes, that was the part that I didn't know. And when I was digging into it, I went, oh, okay.
So it sounds like this could be specifically coming forward perhaps from the government to give an opportunity for those organizations to put money in for children where they have connections. So that's interesting. Any thoughts about that?
No. I think you're possibly right. I personally think it should be the same for everybody across the board. I'm also seeing some changes to how, we'll talk about this a little later, how civil employees are going to be treated for Roth contribution catch-ups, which is a little bit different than most of us, which we'll talk about. So I don't know. I think there's going to be some favorability in some of this stuff. The assumptions made for returns are absolutely sort of ridiculous, I think, especially where valuations are, but that's not the point. I get it. Most sophisticated investors need to understand that. The government's going to paint you this rosy picture, but I do love the fact that, you can talk about ownership of some investment that could possibly help your child as well. The only thing I can say, and it does act like an IRA, so once you set this up and your child turns 18, that money is theirs. It's it's in the form of almost like what a custodial account would do, right?
So here's a couple benefits that I do think are good for these accounts. It's not just the child, or the parents that can contribute. Grandparents,
Anybody,
friends,
as long as you
anyone
don't hit
can
that
contribute.
5,000 max, right?
Yes, so anyone can contribute. One other key thing that I really like about these is that there's no earned income limit. So, for example,
Right. No AGI restrictions at all.
correct. So on the Roth, you have to have earned income in order to do a contribution. Well, with these, you don't. So in that way, there's
All
an
good.
advantage.
Yep.
I
Agreed.
like that some people are able to get the $1,000. Again, it's one of
I
those
do
things.
too.
If I saw it laying on the ground and I could pick it up, I would.
And if it's for my kid, except
Yeah.
if you're just bitter and don't believe in, I'm not having children because I'm free. You're not getting one. I see more people griping. Well, I don't have any kids. They're not opening these for cats. You cannot open these for your cats. They're for your children. My cats are my children. Doesn't matter.
Bet you someone tries. You watch.
Is there such a thing as Snowy as a first name? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I do like that. I do like the fact that you don't have AGI restrictions. What I don't like is what I know I probably would have spent it on at 18 years old, because now I have no power. And if I'm stockpiling money in this account, if you're not providing, and I don't think it's the government's job to do this, financial literacy. What I'm hoping is this money, you see, is a conversation starter. Why do you have it? What is it in?
How should you be a good steward of the funds?
Exactly. Can you create children's events? This is something I've been dreaming about putting together once these come out. What kind of guidance could I wrap around the structure that would make these really effective outside of the money? The benefits of the conversation, the ownership, the stewardship, understanding what makes up the S&P 500. Do you take a child and help them embrace investing through these accounts?
I think you could, and this also alludes.
But you have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many parents are going to? But yes, I agree.
Well, it doesn't have to be the parent. That's the thing. I mean, the parent has to open it, but anyone could sponsor one of these accounts through a contribution for the child.
like
so
the Dells,
could you-
they're having money they've given. That's I don't know how many billions.
right, but for me as
But
an
go ahead.
aunt, I have nephews and nieces, and one thing that I did when they were little is I gave them a share of stock. I wanted them to learn what it's like to have a stock certificate and that kind of thing. It's kind of antiquated now, of course,
What
but
kind of certificate did you get?
Walt Disney.
Yeah, the Disney, because
It,
they
it
used
was
to have
fun
them,
and it was so
but they
pretty.
had the really nice. Those certificates were beautiful,
and you could frame it.
Do they even
so,
do that anymore?
No, I don't. Maybe.
But those
don't know.
certificates are like works of art. You know, there is a whole, not to deviate, but I'm good at deviating. There's a whole collectors group on these certificates. I mean, the early certificates, like standard, they were works of art.
Yeah.
They were beautiful.
Yep.
But the Disney one was colorful, right? It also
Yeah,
had all
and
the
it had all the
character.
characers. It was so pretty.
So, we
So,
used to
I
have-
mean,
yeah.
this type of account I kind of see along those same lines.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason to not open it if you have someone in the age group. And, as a relative, you could sponsor that account
Yep.
through the parents opening it for your niece or nephew. And, maybe not you could put whatever you want in there. You don't have to put 5,000 in there. But it could be a good Christmas
I
gift.
don't see anything about minimums.
Yeah.
Do you?
I didn't see anything about minimums.
So if I wanted to start it with $100, I should be able to do that, or $1,000. I don't have a minimum. I didn't see anything about a minimum. Maximum, yes, but nothing about a minimum.
Yeah.
I wonder if eventually they put a minimum in place, but I haven't seen anything about that. So let's talk about this. Like you said, you're the aunt. You're also an instructor. You're also in finance. So good. Woo, I got the best teacher ever about this. But I hope, to your point, the money comes along with somebody, doesn't have to be the parents, providing lessons. And that's the kind of guide I want to create around these, to create this financial literacy. And you could do it around custodial accounts too. They're not as tax favorable as this, again, one of the things I don't like is the fact that if I am stockpiling money in these, if I decide to do that, and have not done the financial lessons that when I'm 18 years old, I could tell mom and dad or grandma, grandpa, or Aunt Sarah, you and your friend too, I'm taking this money and I'm buying a car or a guitar, or, I could do what I want. And that's not what you want for this. You want this money to go on. Now, there have been talks where you might be able to convert that money or move it to Roth. Do Roth conversions on that money, or at least transfer to Roth, which I think it would be positive, especially if you could do it without the taxes. Like, in other words, as long as you're going to move it into a Roth, no tax implications. I haven't seen anybody. I've seen legislation about maybe looking to do that. So I think that that's positive. But
that's something to watch for sure. But as it stands,
no, not right now.
You're right. It functions like an IRA in the withdrawal process. And in that way, it's taxed when you take money out.
And it's like a custodial account in the fact that it's irrevocable. It's a gift.
Yep.
I can't take it away. So I always tell everyone, depending on the financial literacy you're going to provide, and listen, we don't throw away seed money. If we're getting that, we're getting that. That's great. And if you want to add to that seed money, but I'm going to give you the same rule I used to do with custodial accounts. This is the money that you're not going to be heartbroken if your child says at 18, I am taking this out and I'm going to do what the heck I want. You can't tell me what to do. You can always say, I'm not telling them. Yeah, well, parents have been sued. And guess what? Brokerage firms won't allow it, because as soon as that child turns 18, they're going to be pestering you to convert it to account in that former child's name. They're not going to let it sit in the custodial accounts like years ago, because some of these custodians got sued too. Not going to happen. So the kid's going to find out one way or another they have this money. You're not going to be able to hide it like you think you are. You used to be able to 2 years ago, not anymore. So if your child's a spendthrift,
I noticed that with my kids.
What?
I thought I was going to be able to just kind of kick the can down the road a bit.
Oh, no.
They're sending them emails and text messages.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm talking when I started, you didn't have to
right.
So
you could just keep that account going.
Over. So what you want to do is, if your child, gauge your child. If your child is good steward of the account, as Sarah said, I like that word for it. And you can encourage and explain to them when they get older, as they get older, that you're not going to, you can touch this money at 18, but let's do something different with it. Let's transfer it to Roth if that's available, or keep it as an IRA. Let's keep it going. But that's where you got to watch and temper how much you're going to stockpile in these things. Also, I have no idea, nor have I seen any guidance on how this affects financial aid, FAFSA, or anything.
I haven't seen anything about that either. But to your same point, regarding education planning, this is not the place. This Trump account is not the place to do education planning. You've got a better account option through the 529 plan.
Exactly. If anything, this could be a nice adjunct.
Sure.
Like a custodial account.
Saving a down payment on a home.
If you can,
something like that.
Or again, even for retirement. You want to continue this, and you're going to be able to hopefully convert it to Roth without tax implications. At least that's what's on the board. It is not. There's nothing about that out right now. I'm just giving you an idea of what I've seen that could happen, which makes sense to me. Then by all means, this will work, really well. And I think it's a great place and a great opportunity, or a catalyst to helping your children to understand ownership. Not like what I did. And I've told this story before, when I forced my uncle, the stockbroker, to buy me shares of McDonald's when I was a kid. And then I walked into McDonald's on Ocean Parkway and I said, give me $200 worth of Quarter Pounders, because
you're an owner.
I'm an owner. They said, well, how are you going to pay for that? I said, I don't have to pay for it. I'm an owner. Give me my grub. I was an eater. I wanted food. Okay? I'm an owner. This is my place now. And then the manager was nice enough to take me aside. It's not exactly how it works. He did give me a free burger, though. That was nice of him. So, but you are owner. You can share the story of ownership and use it to create a positive experience, except you're not going to get this 10% a year that the government is promising. Or the kid goes,
There's $1,000 in there, Dad. It's year 3 and it's worth $600. What's this? This. Thank you for nothing.
That was another one of my questions is, we talk so much about the rate of return being impacted by the entry point into the market. So is this the best time to be opening the Trump accounts when we're at the top of the market?
Market time.
Now, I guess it would be good to initially fund the account with the seed money, of course, and then do minimal contributions, and you could always adjust those. So in a way, you're dollar cost averaging in until there's a better buying opportunity in the future.
But again, if I'm putting what the way they're thinking about it, I think more than anything else is you're probably not going to touch this money for a decade or so. And hopefully the market is higher a decade from now than it is today.
That's true, but we just heard from Lance this morning.
I understand that. I'm telling you what the government is thinking, right?
Yeah.
And if you're
Yeah.
going to try to time the market based on valuations, as Lance would also say, you're absolutely ridiculous. You can't do it. But dollar cost averaging in, if you get a dip in the market, would you have the guts to maybe value average in? I don't know. But yes, understand, especially if you got more money that you're going to be placing in it. And my thought is it's not just going to be the S&P 500. I think it's going to branch out to every broad-based index. I think you'll have...
Yeah, it said or another United States equity
it'll be
index.
some sort of
but it
small
didn't
cap.
define what they
or
were.
a total. I think it's going to be S&P and a total stock market or something like that.
Yeah.
And to your point, who knows if they even allow you to average in? They may say, listen, to keep costs low, we just put the money in. I don't...
No, I meant average in through your contributions.
Yeah, because I think once it's in there,
Correct.
it's getting invested.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you go, well, hey, once I open this account, will it even, when you go through the form, I got to look at the form. They may say, listen, we won't even open the account until you fund it. So maybe, if, like you said, maybe I only fund it with $100. And can I set auto deposit? Eventually down the road, you're going to probably be able to link up a bank account. And,
Yeah, because if you do your auto deposit small in the beginning, then wait till the future when the market goes down some, and then
you can
increase
it.
Yep.
Right. If you want to, I think that's a really good idea if you're willing to go through the time, but that's also a lesson for your children on, I'm still investing, but I want to buy when prices are low. So you can use that opportunity to dollar cost average in as a lesson. But we will keep you posted as news develops on these Trump accounts. And again, eventually I'm going to put together a guide that could help you as sort of a study guide that goes along with the money that you can use to help your children be good stewards, as Sarah said. Not stewardesses. We don't have those anymore. Stewards. And if we do, we don't, I don't know. They're wearing pajamas now, right? Or are we wearing the pajamas? Don't wear pajamas to the airport is what I've heard on the airplane.
The things I saw over the holidays.
You still can't get over it.
Flying.
What happened to people getting in an airplane and being respectful? That went out the window.
Oh, well, everybody was friendly and respectful, but they were dressed like hobos.
Hobos, right.
Yeah.
They totally didn't listen to Mr. Kelly, who said, do not wear pajamas on a plane. Yeah. One woman summed it up perfectly. She goes, listen, if the plane crashes and you want to try to you want to try to be there in your flip-flops, walking out there in the middle of this rough terrain, that's your prerogative. I'm dressing like the plane's going down, okay? I got army fatigue. I'm like, I got thermal, and I'm like ready. Like, this thing might go down. I'm prepared. I always look at things half empty, or maybe more than half empty.
Rosso is such an optimist.
Well, there's a fine balance between being well prepared and sort of being a doomsday.
No, I'm just practical. I'm just like, I don't want to be caught with my pajamas down when the plane's coming down. I don't want to be, and I don't want to die and go, look at that guy, he's wearing Simpsons pajamas.
Well, then think about it. That's weak elastic.
Not going to stay on.
No belt.
No. And what if you're wearing like some sort of cartoon underwear? No, like Batman or something. No underoos.
TMI.
So now we're going to bridge out of that subject and we're going to go into, well, in the new year, you're just getting over your New Year's hangover. And now it's time to get serious again. Right?
Correct. And start of a new year. New Year's resolutions. Good
Which
time to
don't last
brush up
very
on
long.
everything.
That's when everybody's going to Orange Theory and I can't get in there. And I've been going for 12 years. And then by March, everything's back to normal and nobody shows up anymore. So that works out really well. So what are some of the things that you think we should look to do? And I have to think it has a lot to do with getting your house in order for the new year. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say freshen up on your financial plan. For example,
Or at least run it, right? Just to see how the numbers look.
yeah,
Are there any new goals that you have? I have clients that have some new charitable goals. You know, look at your goals. Are there something that you need to add to your plan, to your point? Or is there something that's going to change that I don't want to do anymore? Right? So it is a good time to actually review the goals in your plan or add or subtract, because your plan is a living, breathing document and things can change. And you'll go, you know what? I decided I'm not going to buy the car this year. I'm going to wait till next year. Well, that's fine. We'll just adjust the year. Or we decided, we talked over the holiday and we said, you know, we want to do this vacation. I get a lot of that in January where clients will say, you know, we got together with the family and we decided that we're going to go to Mexico. And we didn't have this in the plan, but I'm taking the grandkids. Okay, let's add it in there. So it is a good time to absolutely do that. What else you got?
just refresh a plan overall. Great time to revisit your retirement contributions. So one thing you'll hear from your lovely advisor is look at your retirement contributions, make sure that they're set to as high as you can possibly afford, usually max if you can get away with that. And so it changes
Max out your Roth.
every year, contribution amount. So for 2026, contribution amount goes up for employee deferrals to $24,500. Then you've got catch up if you're over 50,
What's your catch up?
$8,000. So you're looking at
That's pretty hefty.
$32,500 to max, and still have the special catch up to further increase the total.
How many more years of that special catch up we got?
It's age 60 to 63.
63. Then it's over. Yeah. That's positive. Now, you also have to keep in mind, with the SECURE Act, there are going to be some changes to the account you're funding. Listen, we've been talking about, especially Danny and I, probably over the last decade, about Roth. And now Roth is sexy, and people have Roth derangement syndrome of some kind. Like, no, you don't need to convert to Roth, but I want to so badly. It's not going to help you. I don't care. Everybody's doing it. It's going to happen for you anyway, because if you make over $145,000 a year, as far as your wages go, any catch-up contributions are going to be placed into Roth. You really have no choice. And I actually think that's positive. So you're going to be contributing to Roth next year in your plan, whether you like it or not, because the government needs money now, and Roth is after tax. So they get their taxes today. So that extra catch-up contribution and the super duper are going to Roth depending on how much you're making as far as wages, not your total household income. And again, the threshold's fairly respectably low. So if you're making over 150,000, forget it. I would actually opt to have all my contributions be Roth. I think you should be funding Roth over pre-tax for the most part. Understand everybody's situation is different, but don't close out Roth totally. Don't be upset if your catch-up contributions are going to Roth. That's not a bad thing. Having a separate tax-free bucket of money in retirement, as we talk about ad nauseum here, is going to be very important. So keep eye for that. Also, your company match would always be pre-tax. That's how it is. So company gives you a match, it goes into your pre-tax. you will have the ability to possibly put that into Roth as well, and I would so do so. Overall. So yes, be sensitive to those contribution levels. They have gone up. And that's for, again, not only your retirement plans at work, but your traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs. And again, this additional contribution, don't ask me why. I have no, people go, why? Why do I only have from this age to this age? I don't know. And it doesn't make any sense. So it absolutely makes sense that the government did it, but I don't know. Like if I would say if you're age 63 to 70, you should be able to do those super duper things if you're looking to try to catch up, but they say no. What else we got, Sarah? Anything else?
Yes. In addition to that, we've got, of course, regular contributions to Roth if you're within the AGI limits to do that. We talked recently in
What's
another
that
one.
amount for next year? Do you know?
I think it's 8,000.
I think you're right.
I'm coming off of memory on that one. Don't quote me. Literally.
Just know that they've increased. Yes.
Yep. The other thing that we talked about recently in our broadcast after Christmas was the gift of introductory conversations about estate planning. So January is the time to do that. If the result of that conversation was, well, our financial plan and our estate plan is not quite where we want it to be, those introductory conversations could result in a New Year's resolution of getting those documents done. So your will,
even the conversation with yourself, like, listen, I got to get my estate plan done. I got to search out cemeteries. I may not be as happy as Rosso doing it. He seems sort of giddy. It's sort of macabre, but I'm going to do it for the benefit of my family. Not that I'm looking forward to it so much I'm going to dig my own hole. Which sometimes I feel like doing. So yes, it is absolutely a good time to think about it, at least asking the questions to yourself. Where am I deficient in these areas that I don't want to talk? Am I underinsured? How do all my coverages look? Yeah. Right? With auto and property and casualty, it really is a good time to do an overall insurance review, beneficiary update review, or check, all of that stuff. All that boring stuff, even though you still have a hangover 20 days after a holiday, is a good time to do it.
And realistically, a lot of tax planning comes in right there as
Bingo.
well. I mean, the tax year is over, but you've got to get your taxes ready to file.
Get your paperwork ready, right?
Get all that stuff sorted out.
Absolutely. So let's just say January is a no fun month. It is absolutely, except for looking for the cemeteries. Fun, fun, fun. Lots of squirrels. I brought nuts to my last cemetery. And I hung out with the squirrels for a while. And Amy just went to the car and sat there going, I may have to rethink this whole relationship. So who brings nuts to the cemetery? She says, yeah, I brought you. Okay.
I like her.
She's great. Yeah. So I'm saying it is a good time to do those financial dust bunny things that you don't want to do for the rest of your. Get it out of the way in January, so in February you can already buy the crap you're going to do for Valentine's Day. Right? Get that all done. The contributions going up, the Roth changes, taxes. I love the idea of, like you said, talking to your advisor about plan refresh. Goals that may have changed during the holiday.
How did your family change during that time? Did you have another child? Did you have another grandchild?
Did you disown anybody after the Rosso Conversation Starter booklet? Yeah. Maybe time to order the 5wishes.org. You go to agingwithdignity.org, get the 5 wishes document I talked about in the podcast before the holiday. Go through that as well. It's a really great exercise. The only thing I could say is it is a good time to assess, and this can open up a can of worms. It is a good time to assess your relationship with all your financial people. Like, did I get what I wanted out of my financial advisor? Is there some things I did not tell my financial advisor, or some things that I wish that advisor could do better that we can improve on as your advisors? My tax person, my estate planning person, the document organization, there's a company out there called Moxbox, founded by a brother and sister. And I ordered one of these boxes, but it's a financial document organization system, and one level of it's fireproof. But the way it allows you to put together information from your social space, your social media, all your passwords in the cloud, to the actual documents. They worked really hard after they couldn't get all their dad's documents together, and I think it's one of the best products out there. And no, I don't get endorsements from this product. I'm just giving you something that can help with your financial organization to make it easier for your families. But Danny goes, well, you don't need to do that. You just go ahead and get a folder and get it done. What, you're so stupid. No. Okay. I like it. All right, Danny? I like it. Thus, I'm recommending it. Don't judge me. So, Knoxbox. Why am I paying all that money for a box? Okay, Danny. You know how people have the ghost of Christmas in their head? I got Danny.
He's on your shoulder here.
He's living rent-free.
He's living rent-free in my head. So, but however you do it, it's a good time to do it. That's all we got. Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Sarah, for putting up with me. Brent always put up with me. His hairline shows it. And we'll be back again with the next Financial Fitness Podcast.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.